You're watching Well Traveled Life with Jonathan and Jennifer, and we are in the city of Molde on the coast of Norway. Join us as we discover what makes this city unique, not only its history, but its geography, and interestingly, its climate. We will take a tour with Eric, our taxi driver, who is a native Moldenser. He'll take us on the Atlantic Road, one of the most scenic roads in the world, and we'll go up to Bud, the small fishing village that also has some interesting World War II history. On the western coast of Norway, between Ålesund and Trondheim, is this small city of Molde. The name Molde has a few different origin possibilities. One is that it's plural for mold, which it means fertile soil, or for molder, which means skull, which could refer to the rounded peaks that you'll see in the Molde market, and we'll see those in a little bit. Molde is not a part of the Norwegian rail system, but you can get there by bus, boat, plane, or car. Because Molde has an airport, it is accessible by plane from Bergen or Trondheim. It is on the Hurtigruten Express line, so you can take a ferry from either Trondheim or Bergen as well. One of the iconic landmarks you'll see is the Scandic Salet Hotel. It is a large glass building with a sail-like mast at the front of it. Known for its bar at the top, it's a great place to get a view and a drink. Other landmarks include the Romsdal Museum, which is an open-air museum established in 1912. Also in the city center is the Domkirke, or the cathedral, and a 1-hour walk or a 10-minute bus or car trip will get you up to the Varden Viewpoint. Because the town of Molde faces the mainland of Norway, you will see from the viewpoint out over the city, across the fjord, through the islands to those 222 snow-capped peaks. They will be snow-capped all year round, and on a relatively clear day, you will have views of all of those mountaintops. These mountains to the east, along with mountainous islands to the west and hills to the north, contribute to Molde's climate and rich plant life. They also have the foehn wind from the south and the southeast, which, coupled with its sheltered location, means that Molde frequently has winter days with temperatures above 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really unusual for its latitude. On the way up to the lookout or down from the lookout, you will pass through the forests and you'll see waterfalls and rivers, and can stop at the small reservoir that acts as a hydroelectric power source for the city. Our driver Eric took us on a special detour. Just outside of Molde is the Lysgarden Skaret. This is a old hotel with a restaurant with really traditional food and traditional building styles. Eric took us here because this is where he got married. We took a tour around the place and it's pretty idyllic. I can't imagine a more traditional wedding venue. It is also perfectly situated to take advantage of the nearby hiking, skiing, and climbing trails. Just west of Molde lies the tiny fishing village of Bud, and we're going to travel out there and show you some history and quintessential Norwegian fishing life. In the 16th, 17th, and 1800s, Molde began to grow. It became the center for the textile industry in Norway, and it was really developing beautifully. So there were these quintessential wooden houses, esplanades, pavilions, parks, and just beautiful spaces. And it became kind of the tourist resort town for Norway, inviting people like Wilhelm II, the Emperor of Germany, and the Prince of Wales, who used it as a summer home and were here quite frequently, until all of that came to a biting halt. In 1916, there was a fire, much like had happened in Ålesund, that decimated 2/3 of the city. And what was remaining was significantly damaged. So Molde really had to rebuild, and they did. And they did so relatively quickly. It continued to flourish until World War II. In World War II, the British had sent troops over to central Norway in this area, and in order for the Germans to ensure that they didn't get a foothold in this part of the country, they sent in the Luftwaffe and they bombed most of Molde. So Molde had to rebuild again. But it gives us this really interesting World War II history. King Haakon and Crown Prince Olaf fled Oslo in a very dramatic flight and came to Molde. They were hidden just outside the city center and had front row seats to the air raids and the bombing that happened. But for that week, while they were there, Molde was essentially the capital of Norway. To add to the intrigue, they had conveyed all of the Norwegian gold reserves to Molde, and they hid it in an old garment factory. So that takes us to Bud, which is this very small fishing village, but with a German outpost that was established in order to ensure that the Allies could no longer have any kind of a stronghold on this part of the continent. Getting to Bud from Molde is a scenic drive through pretty towns with beautiful waterfront views and rural landscapes. In the Middle Ages, Bud was the largest city between Trondheim and Bergen. Although now the population is under 1,000 people, it still boasts an exceptionally great harbor and really rich fisheries. The Ergan coastal fort serves as a World War II museum and memorial. The defensive fortification was erected by the Nazi forces in 1940. It still has various armaments and a network of bunkers and soldiers' quarters that are dispersed around the hill, with a sick bay and a store sunk deep inside the mountain. Because of its location up above the harbor, it provides beautiful views of Bud and the bay below. Enjoy the charming architecture of this darling town. County Road 64 connects Molde with Kristiansund. That isn't the Atlantic Way, though. The actual section of the Atlantic Road is an 8.3 kilometer or like a 5-mile section that connects Hustadvika and Averøy. So it really is a 10-minute drive that will knock your socks off. Whether it's a sunny day and you get beautiful views of blue skies and the ocean, or it's a really stormy day and you get waves coming up over the bridge, it doesn't matter. This is one of those roads that the world wants to see. Our suggestion is that you keep your eyes peeled from Vevang onto Karvag. That's kind of the main section that is so beautiful and has the big bridge. But it is 8 bridges that are connecting these little islets and islands. And it's the engineering of these bridges that is so completely remarkable. Cafe is in the middle of this section, and it's a really cool building, so just worth pulling over off the road to go see the building. But they have coffee and waffles, and it's a little cafe. You can go inside, and they have restrooms. There is also a really great walkway. It's a pedestrian area that you can take around, and you'll get great views of the bridge, but great views of the islet that you're on as well. And you'll want to check out the little tide pools and the colored water from all of the minerals that are in the rocks that surround the area. Even though I'm telling you it's a 10-minute drive, you want to plan an hour or so to do it because there's a lot to see and it's worth a stop. And don't forget the waffle. If you aren't familiar with Norwegian waffles, it's a small flower-shaped waffle with some cream and usually strawberry jam. If you have time and want to do a full loop, there is a way to go Molde to Molde all the way around. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we hope you enjoyed Molde, but we really want to encourage you to go look at Ålesund. We did a lot there that includes some of the same things we did in Molde. So great drives on the Trollstigen and a lot of World War II history at another fortification. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, maybe you should do that now. Thanks.